3 minutes. Let's do it.
What is a morning routine like for you to equip you for whatever might lie ahead?
Well, I like to get up. I like cold water on the face, brush my teeth in the morning, take the dogs out first thing. I try and do it barefoot any time of year. I mean, if it's frost on the ground, I can't do it barefoot, but the rest of the year, 350 days of the year, barefoot, even in the rain. And
Why?
I don't know, I like that connection with solid ground and the earth. It sounds kind of weird, but I think everything in life is trying to, in modern life, is trying to disconnect us from nature. And the reason I want to be connected with nature is it's where, we've had hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. It's where we're empowered and strong. And there's so much research on what happens to all of the neuro whatever's in your body when you're barefoot on the ground. And so even if it's for 10 minutes, I like that. And even in London, I get a few strange looks in the park, but I'll go barefoot, find some green and just walk around. So being outside, being barefoot, and then I train in the morning. I try and do my workouts in the morning. My workouts aren't crazy. I think as you get older, you got to kind of make sure you're having time to recover. But I like the strength training more and more. So short and sharp, half an hour, kettlebells, pull-ups. I start my workout, have done for years, exactly the same way.
Which is what?
25 pull-ups, 50 press-ups, 75 squats, and 100 sit-ups. And it takes about 10 minutes, first 10 minutes done, then it's 20 minutes of the other stuff. But when I started doing it, I couldn't do like 3 pull-ups. I was like, wow, this is hard. And now I now use a weighted vest and I'm banging out the 25 pull-ups.
Nice.
And I figure I just keep doing it. And if I keep doing it, I'll be 95, God willing, still able to do it. So I like that type of training. And then I try and get cold, and if you're busy, it's just a cold shower. We have the sea and rivers near where we live in North Wales and stuff. So I can jump in.
What does that cold do for you?
I don't know. I know it's everyone talks about cold water nowadays. The only thing that puts me off doing it is that everyone's now doing it. But I've done this for years, long before it was, it was so fashionable. But I don't know, again, instinctively, I feel this is good. It's like a hard defrag reset of my hard drive. It's shock to the system. What I like about cold water is it never gets easier. You can't hide. And it's hard. Again, you don't have to kick the proverbial out of it, but I just think even a minute of a cold shower just fires up the system. And again, like with barefoot, there's so much research now of how good that is for you. So that's it. And I can do that in as quick as half an hour or 45 minutes, that whole routine. And then I'm set for the day. The only other element of that I do before the workout is a little stretch and a little pray. And I combine it together. I get down on my knees and say my prayers for the day. And they're never long or complicated or religious, but it's just to say, I need help today. Sorry for the mess ups yesterday. Thank you for the many blessings. Here we go.
Brilliant. And what does that do for you, Beth?
I don't know. I think we figure out the arsenals in our life that help us to be strong. And I think we're so much more than physical. We're mental, we're emotional, we're spiritual. I try and do what I can to keep those in balance in my life. So if I'm going to train physically in the morning, I like to, I think the cold water is emotional strength. So that's that one done. That inner never give up, do the difficult muscle. Everyone has their thing, don't they? And you figure it out through trial and error and life. I think what I find interesting about this is that so many of these things we're about to talk about, people don't teach you as a kid. I mean, how I wish somebody had told me early on in life, rather than going to a maths class or a physics class or whatever class, go to a class of good morning hacks to set your day right. And we figure it out by trial and error. Everyone will have their different things. But again, like with everything, picking the difficult one is so key. The lazy, easy one is just to get on your phone in bed, blue light, scroll when that alarm goes off. And it's a lazy option, and it's a one that kicks a day off badly. And I know this from experience. It's the easy option, but it's not the best option. And I do think the thing with positive habits is that if you do it long enough and consistently enough, they become you. And suddenly then a day without positive habits feels weird.
Can you give us an example of the last time or the most vivid time when you faced fear and been able to
Well, the
respond?
vivid stuff is easy. It's the headline stuff for me of like, big mountains and free fall accidents and that sort of stuff. But the more interesting fears are the daily, everyday ones. Coming up here to do a day, a few days of press for Netflix for our kind of new show. For me, as a scary place, I struggle with that. I have many fears of everyday life, just not the super glamorous kind of like high octane, heights and snakes. And, it's the everyday things. Just because I find as I get older, the fear grows for life. But I've also learned that that's okay. Just get used to the fact that fear is going to knock on your door. It is all about how you respond to it. And I've just learned over the years, the way to deal with fear is open that door and look it square in the eye. Don't do what most people do, which is deny it's knocking and go and hide behind the sofa, which is what we do. We're scared of public speaking, so avoid it at all costs. Or we're scared of hospitals and never go near it. Or, the only way I've learned in life, deal with the fear, you got to open that door, you got to eyeball it, and you got to walk through it. And then you realize there was no one there in the first place. And I think it's, if you do that long enough and you do it regularly enough, then you learn how to master fear. And it's why I like the little things like the cold water, because it's, anything that's difficult and you don't want to do, but you face it and you do it. It's the inner muscles of life that if we can develop those, that's how we learn ninja high performance power. The one thing you can guarantee is going to happen is that life's going to beat the hell out of you. And you're going to get rejected, you're going to get knocked down, and everything you thought was one way is going to be another way, and your confidence is going to dip, and it's like, now we're going to see what you're really made of. So those who are resilient always win.
Can you share with us some techniques on how we can develop that resilience?
Becoming a parent changes how you think about so many things, including money. When you're younger, it's so much about the next opportunity, isn't it? The next project, the next adventure. But I found that once I had kids, I'm starting to think longer term. How do I make smarter decisions? How do I help the future look a bit more secure for me and for my children? And one of the things that I've been exploring recently is how to make my money work harder in the background. Well, XTB have launched a cash ISA and stocks and shares ISA where new customers can currently earn 6% interest, which includes a 2% boost for the first 90 days. It also gives you tax-free growth, daily interest, flexible withdrawals, and no account management fees. And if you open an account and make your first deposit within 7 days, you'll receive a free stock to help you start your investment journey. If you want to find out more, go to xtb.com/en/join/high performance. Capital at risk, investment values can rise or fall. Tax treatment depends on your individual circumstances and ISA regulations, which may change. Limited free stock available. 2% ISA rate boost for 90 days. New clients only. T's and C's apply.
Fail and don't be scared of it, and fail again. If you take risks and you do your best and you don't succeed, that is not a failure. If you take risks, do your best and don't succeed, that is not a failure. It's a stepping stone, and how do we get more resilient? We go for these things, we take risks, we do our best, and we get knocked down and you get back up. It's literally like the gym. It's like doing your reps on your bicep. How do you get strong biceps? You break it down. You beat the hell out of it, and then you rest, you recover, and you go again more. And it's the same with us in life. And there is no such thing as the overnight success. Any business, any sports star, any movie star. Jake, you guys, both of you've interviewed 100 people. Same story. Nobody hits it straight off the bat. It's like 17th failure, and then they got it 18th time.
Yeah.
So therefore, how do we develop it? We be willing to get out there, look vulnerable, fail, go for it, do your best, get knocked down, treat it as a training exercise and go again.
How many points, what percentage of points in his career do you think Roger Federer won?
He won 80% of his matches, but he won something like 52% of his points. Yeah. And it's like, there you go. It's like,
He
brilliant.
had to learn to lose.
He had to learn to lose.
Successful people fail more than anybody else.
And Roger, he's one of our Running Wild guests and a good buddy now. And I remember him telling me he said, do you know what the score was? My first ever sort of pro match as a teenager when I went. He said, I felt I was good. I thought I had something. I got it. First match, six love against me. You know, most of us be like, maybe wrong profession, you know? And he's the first to say it's like, it's not just natural talent, of which he's got a lot, but it's a lot of talented tennis players out there.